Hello students. So acids, bases and salts. This chapter is very important. So first of all students, all the compounds like all they're classified into different types, yes or no? So like some are organic, some are inorganic compounds, as well as acids, bases and salts, some are minerals. So in all these classifications students, acids, bases and salts is one of the major classification that we are all made up of everywhere. For the plant life, for the animal life, these acids, bases are very crucial. Even salt water, ocean water is salty, yes sir, that we all know. So what is the difference between these three types, acids, bases and salts? Like what is the principal difference? If you want to define in terms of physical properties like between acids and bases, we can say that acids are sour in taste, bases are bitter in taste and salts are salty, yes or no? But if you want to define in terms of chemical, this is very important students. We can define acids like the compounds which has a capacity to release H plus ions are called as acids, and the compounds which has a capacity to release OH minus ions, hydroxyl ions, are called as bases. And this definition is also according to one theory called as Arrhenius theory, and we have like many theories which defines all these acids and bases, as well as salts. How salts will be produced? When acids combines with bases, they produce salt and H2O. So that's why all these combinations, all these compounds, classifications are very important to study. So to start the discussion, introduction, these three acids, bases and salts are the three important classes of chemical compounds, and many of the foods we eat and the liquids you drink also contains acids and bases, like carbonated drinks, thumbs up or Coke, whatever. What do they contain students? They contain carbonic acid. Citrus fruits, what does it contain? Citric acid. So that's why the study of these compounds is very important. So let us check the next slide, the definition of an acid. Like what is really an acid? The word acid has been derived from the Latin word acidus, which means sour in taste. So acid's general characteristic taste is their sour in taste. That's how the name origin. In fact, all acids are sour in taste. In 1887, the Swedish chemist Arrhenius proposed that all acids contain hydrogen ions, which provide acids their special properties such as turning blue litmus into red. So Arrhenius theory, students, we have a theory called as Arrhenius theory, is a scientist. So he defined an acid like an acid is a substance which has a capacity to release H plus ions in aqueous medium, in water. When acid is dissolved in water, acids releases H plus ions. But do all acids release H plus ions? Like we have the classifications, there we will discuss about all these points. So that he is the one first who gave the idea by the definition of an acid according to the chemical nature. So like where can we find? In general, non-metals, we already know the difference between a metal and non-metal. Sir, students, metals like sodium, magnesium, calcium, cesium, all these are metals. Non-metals, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, non-metals. So metallic oxides are basic in nature. Here the point to be remembered is non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. For example, what are non-metallic oxides? Carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, phosphorus pentoxide. Yes or no? All these are non-metallic oxides are not sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. So these non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, students. So this is the main point. When these non-metallic oxides, how they are produced? By the combustion, by burning in presence of oxygen. So look at here the reaction, carbon plus oxygen gas. What do we get? Carbon dioxide. This is a common gas which is produced for all the combustion reactions of organic matter. Yes, students. So this carbon dioxide, when it combines with H2O, it forms H2CO3, which is carbonic acid, students. That's why this is one of the bottom reaction is one of the main reason for the formation of acid rains. So these CO2 levels increases in the air, they combine with water vapor H2O molecules and they produce H2CO3 carbonic acid, and it falls as acid rain. So here the point is non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. When they dissolve in water, they form the respective acids. So examples are given here. Carbon, what is the oxide produced? Carbon dioxide. And what is the acids we can expect from this? Carbonic acid, H2CO3. Next, sulfur can produce sulfur dioxide as well as sulfur trioxide. Both can produce the respectively sulfurous acid H2SO3 as well as sulfuric acid H2SO4. Next we have phosphorus pentoxide, P2O5 is the oxide, and from that oxide when it dissolved in water it produces phosphoric acid H3 PO4. Next, nitrogen dioxide, when it reacts with H2, it produces the respective nitric acid as well as nitrous acid, HNO2. So these are the acids which are being generated when non-metallic oxides dissolve in water. So here the main point to remember is non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So next, classification. So something which is important, definitely we need to classify them for the better understanding. Yes, sir, students. So classification of acids, we have like many classifications on the basis of many types. We have the classifications. In the first type, on the basis of their source. Source means like where they are available, like from where we are getting these acids. So we have two types, students. One is called as organic acids. Second type is called as inorganic acids or mineral acids. First of all, let us check organic acids. So how can we define organic acids? Organic acids means the acids which are coming from living sources like plants or animals. They are called as organic acid. Look at, we have the list of acids here given. Look at acetic acid, where it is coming from? Vinegar. Citric acid, all the citrus fruits contains citric acid. Butyric acid coming from rancid butter. Rancid butter means spoiled. Formic acid coming from the sting of ants or bees contains formic acid. Lactic acid, where it is present in sour milk, is lactic acid. And apples contains malic acid. Olive oil contains oleic acid. And fats, all the fats contains animal fats or vegetable fats mainly contain stearic acid. Grapes or tamarind contains tartaric acid. Urine contains uric acid. So all these are the sources of plants and animals, or students, are the source of plants and animals or not, students. So from these sources we can get these respective acids. Don't bother about the formulas. Why? Because we don't study in general under the chemical reactions. We don't study about these acids. Why? Because all these acids are weak acids. What is weak? I will explain in the coming slides. So that's why don't bother about the formulas also. No need right now. Just you have to remember what is the source where they're coming from. So next we have inorganic acids or mineral acids. Many students don't know what does it mean. Like organic means the easy, like plants or animals. What is inorganic? Inorganic means are called as mineral acids. These acids are coming from minerals. Minerals means what? Where they are found? In the rocks, in the earth crust, in the sand, in the soil. Yes, that is what minerals are. But what is the formula of the sand, students? Sand or soil, in general, it is made up of silica. Yes or no? Silicon dioxide, silicates. So only silica is present? No. Other metals and non-metals, other combinations are also included in the soil. That's why soil in different areas have different colors. Yes or no? Iron is present in the soil, gold is present in the, everything is present in the earth crust only, students. So that's why all these acids are also present in the soil, but not like direct acids. They are found in the mineral form. Mineral form means, for example, look at here, first one, hydrochloric acid. What is the first one? Hydrochloric acid. So these acids we can get from the salts like sodium chloride. Yes or no? What is the formula? NaCl. From NaCl, if we can process, we can get the chlorine or not. When these chlorines are subjected to the hydrogen, what is the acid we can expect? HCl, hydrochloric acid. So NaCl is called as mineral. It is found in the seawater. Yes or no? Or potassium chloride or magnesium chloride or any chlorides of metals which are found in the earth, or if they are found in the seawater. Ultimately, we can synthesize HCl from that particular mineral. That doesn't mean HCl is found in the earth crust directly. Yes or no? Next, nitric acid, HNO3. So where this, how to prepare this nitric acid, students? Like it comes under inorganic acids. What's the meaning of inorganic? Coming from minerals. Minerals means rocks and all. For example, have you heard about Chile saltpeter or Indian saltpeter? What are their formulas? KNO3 or NaNO3, that means potassium nitrate or sodium nitrate. By extracting that salt, if we can process that salts, we can synthesize nitric acid or not. That is what the mineral is. Understood, students? So like that, sulfuric acid, sulfurous acid, carbonic acid, all these are very, very important in terms of chemical reactions. HCl, HNO3, H2SO4, H2SO3 and H2SO4, like H2CO3, carbonic acid. You have to remember the formulas of these main acids. We have nitrous acid, phosphoric acid, phosphorus acid, all the acids also coming from inorganic acids category. Inorganic means what? Non-living things, means rocks and all. Direct acids are present? No. The respective salt is present. From there we can synthesize all these acids. So next, classification on the basis of basicity of an acid. First of all, we need to define what is basicity. Like I said, students, acids all releases which ions? H plus ions, right? How many? That is what basicity. What is like acids releases H plus ions. Like how many H plus ions released by an acid? Do all acids release same number of H plus ions? No. Some releases 1 H plus ion, some releases per molecule I am talking about 2 H plus ions, some releases 3 H plus ions per molecule. That is called as basicity. The number of hydrogen ions which can be liberated by one molecule of an acid on complete ionization is called as basicity. Ionization means an acid converts into the respective ions in the presence of aqueous medium. So example, look at here, acetic acid CH3COOH is the formula. On complete ionization, acetic acid becomes CH3COO minus plus H plus ion. So how many hydrogen ions are released in this? Only 1 H plus ion. Yes, sir, students. So it based on the type of number of H plus ions, we have the types of basicities also that we'll explore in the coming slides. So students, remember, whatever the number of hydrogens are present, not necessarily all the hydrogens will not be released by an particular acid. Whatever the H plus ion which is directly attached to the very strong electronegative element only be released. That you have to be carefully keep in mind. So we first one, monobasic acid. So what is meaning of monobasic acid? Like how many H plus ions are released by this acid? Only one. Mono means one. Yes or no? When one molecule of an acid on complete ionization produces one hydrogen ion, the acid is called as monobasic acid. What are the examples? HCl is an example of monobasic acid. HI is an example of monobasic acid. Hydrobromic acid, HBr is an example. Formic acid as well as nitric acid, HNO3, and hydrogen cyanide, hydrocyanic acid, HCN, and acetic acid, hydrofluoric acid. All these are the examples of monobasic acids. Why? Because you can see all can release how many H plus ions? Only 1 H plus ions all these acids can release. They comes under monobasic acid. Next classifications we have dibasic acid. Now you can easily define what is dibasic. Monobasic means 1. Dibasic acids can release how many H plus ions? Dibasic acids can release 2 H plus ions, students. Examples, sulfuric acid, H2SO4 is sulfuric acid. So it can release 2 H plus ions. Carbonic acid, H2CO3, it can release 2 H plus ions. Oxalic acid can release 2 H plus ions. Sulfurous acid, hydrogen sulfide, all these acids they can release 2 H plus ions. So they comes under a category of dibasic acids. Next we have tribasic acid, can release how many? 3 H plus ions, like phosphoric acid, phosphorus acid. You can check here is an example of phosphoric acid is given. H3PO4 is giving here how many H plus ions? 1 H plus ion, but still there are hydrogen ions are there which can be liberated. So again in the next reaction one more H plus ion is released, and in the third reaction one more H plus ion is released. Now is the whole radical, does it end up with any hydrogens here left? No. Total how many hydrogen ions are released by this molecule? H3PO4, total 3. So that's why it is called as, it comes under tribasic acid. It can release 3 H plus ions by one molecule. Next, this is one classification. Next classification is on the basis of strength of an acid. Strength means what? Strength means, first of all, on the basis of this we have two types of acids. One is called as strong acid and the second one is called as weak acid. What is the meaning of strong or weak, students? An acid character, like I said, the capacity to release H plus ions is acid character. Yes or no? If an acid can release maximum H plus ions, like all the molecules release H plus ions, in that case it is a strong acid. If all the molecules are not releasing H plus ions, that is called as weak acid in general. But we have a clear definition in terms of extent of ionization. Releasing H plus ions means ionization. Yes or no? So any acid having a practically ionization of 30% or above. So 30% of the molecule or above 30%, if they can ionize, that acid can be considered as strong acid. Example, these classifications and examples are very, very important. Nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, these are main strong acids in the discussion, students, in the chemical reactions also. Next, weak acids. Weak acids means what? This by the same definition with reference to the previous definition. The acids which can release, which can ionize less than 30%. Yes or no? They are called as weak acid, and the examples are many are there. All organic acids are weak acids only, for sure. So examples are carbonic acid, hydrogen sulfide, like hydrogen sulfuric acid, hydrosulfuric acid. There is a difference between sulfuric acid, hydrosulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is H2SO4, hydrosulfuric acid is H2S. and formic acid, hydroiodic acid, sulfurous acid, acetic acid, oxalic acid, hydrocyanic acid. So all these comes under weak acids. Why? Because they can release less number of H plus ions. Next classification is on the basis of concentration of an acid. So this is also very crucial when it comes to the lab activity, students. Concentrated and diluted. Like by listening to that word concentrated means what? Something which is more. Yes or no? So here we have the classifications of concentrated acid, diluted acid. First of all, we will look at the definition. Concentration, the measure of the amount of water present in a given sample of the acid is called as concentration. Okay. Now here concentrated acid means, now which quantity is more? Acid quantity is more or water quantity is more? Concentrated acid means acid quantity is more, water content is less. And dilute acid means acid quantity is less and water quantity is more. So is there any parameter like these many grams? No, nothing parameter. We can define an acid concentrated, we can define an acid solution whether it's a concentrated or dilute with reference to the other solution. That's why relatively we can define a concentrated acid as well as a dilute acid. What is concentrated? More acid quantity, less water quantity. And what is dilute acid? More water quantity, less acid quantity. First of all, why water? For ionization, students, to release H plus ions, right? Next we have on the basis of composition of oxygen. If oxygen is present, they are called as oxyacids. If oxygens are not present, only hydrogen, they are called as hydroacids. Like oxyacids are those which contains oxygen in their composition. Simple classification, they are called, examples are all sulfuric acid, nitric acid, sulfurous acid, carbonic acid, H2CO3. You can see the formulas, all they contain oxygen or not. And what are hydroacids without oxygen? Hydrochloric acid, hydroiodic acid, hydrobromic acid, hydrosulfuric acid, H2S, hydrocyanic acid, H2, HCN. So you can see all these are examples. Do they contain any oxygens there? No. So this is also one more classification on the basis of oxygen composition. That's it, students. That's all the classifications of acids. In this video we discussed about an acid, definition of an acid and its classifications. In the coming video we will focus on the chemical properties and physical properties of acids. Thank you.